Alrighty. Give it a couple minutes here, seconds for people to jump in. I'm going to go over a couple things before we even dive in, just because. So, what are we, 4 weeks in now? I don't know, 4 or 5, something like that. And my God, like the record, the year-to-date profit right now has been like insane. Like I don't even know how to explain it. This month, I mean, I'm like personally myself, like during the week and outside of this, already on a crazy run. But oh, hold on. Did not want to do that. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna have to refresh this. 1 second. Anyways, 51 and 33 since we started doing this, right? And we're up nearly like 17 units. So I mean, if you don't go by units, I mean, for me, profit wise, that's nearly $1,700, dude. I have no words. I don't know. Like I'm waiting for a regression to hit, but at the same time, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing, and we're gonna have at it. Not a whole lot today. Not a whole lot tomorrow. As of now, have a little bit of leans. Have a couple of model picks. And yeah, like I said, we got a pretty stacked slate tomorrow, but a lot of these games are kind of ruined by incentive of what's pretty much at stake. So we're going to dive right into tonight. And now I had this tracked, except there's a couple of things that I kind of read across, and I'm slowly backing off. So I removed it from my action profile, but I'll have to wait and see how it goes. But yeah, I mean, I did like Dayton 9.5 at first, but now, I mean, I'm seeing a ton of like good readings and insight on VCU. And I want to break this game down. I really do. But it's like everything I'll say that I want to say, at least, like you're going to have a better, pretty much contrarian side for VCU in this case. And VCU is like some studs, dude. Like it's kind of makes me sick. Kind of brings me back to like, every time I think of VCU, I think of like those early 2016 Wichita State days. If you guys even remember that run when they were in like Sweet 16, and I don't even know, man. That run, that team was so fun. Anyways, VCU, very good team. I'm scared to back Dayton. I'm still looking into it. I don't think I'll get there by the time I'm finished with this. So I'll go to the next one because I can't really untrack that, unfortunately, is my Ohio money line, except I have them at a pick'em. For -110 on Fanatics. This, I love Ohio's offense here in this kind of spot, and for me to get them at a pick 'em in this kind of state, I see it was recommended before. See, it's doing it. It's okay. But yeah, like I said, Ohio's been coming off. Looks like we're coming off of a loss. As a -500 favorite hosting Eastern Michigan. In terms like this, you have another on the other side. You have Toledo coming off of 4 straight losses, and going back to pretty much what I've preached down everybody's throat is about these do spots. I mean, you would technically kind of want to go with Toledo in this kind of situation here, but with Toledo coming off of a dog loss as a dog, 2 of these losses as a dog, actually 2 of them as a pretty significantly large favorite. I mean, man. I also look into like points per game and stuff like that. And I know this Rithmm actually likes the under 161, which is a lot in my opinion, given how both of these teams have been playing. Like they've only won over 2 in the last, looks like, and in Toledo on that statement, they aren't coming off 3 straight. So I kind of sense some sort of regression, I guess you could say, in terms, because like Toledo's been losing games, but they've still been putting up points. Like that's not necessarily a hidden secret. So in my opinion, I like the idea of Ohio coming off of a loss as like a big favorite versus Toledo coming off of a loss 4 times consecutively, I should say. And then obviously we have this game tonight, which obviously is, let me see. I mean, obviously it's at Toledo tonight, but I'm not going to sit here and say like Toledo's a tough place to play in that. It's a spot bet. But I mean, I do like Ohio's offense significantly better than Toledo's in this case versus how they match. Don't really have a ton there, but the model did like it earlier. But yeah. Next on here was pretty much the headliner of the night. I'll kind of come with that on the last one because even though it's kind of going to say it probably here. Actually, just kidding. I couldn't find these last two plays that I have on here just because Rithmm actually liked the other side or had it as a caution, so I couldn't even input it in. But my next play, I have Boise -5.5 hosting Colorado State. Line is up to 6. I kind of would play it up to 6. This is staying by 4.9. Both teams are really hot, like insanely, like red hot. And I think they've been phenomenal. They've been really fun. Boise State coming off of a large cover, large line there, -16.5 there, barely snuck by, but they still won 5 straight. And then you go to Colorado State on the other side. Colorado State has won, was that 7 straight, 8 straight? And they've covered every single one of them. I mean, I'm definitely sensing some serious regression for Colorado State side. In my opinion, there's a seriously good shot at a team total underplay there, in my opinion. Colorado State team total under, I think it was like 69, 70, maybe lower than that. I don't know. If you can find anything better than like a 70 or 69, I would play it. Absolutely would. But yeah, now we're catching 5.5 in this case, and I don't think they've played each other in the last 10. I don't think so. But if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure this could be like a revenging. I'm sorry if you can hear like some sort of ruckus downstairs. There's some, I don't know what's going on. It's all right though. Let me see here. If we go to the last head-to-head, a majority of the public here, I believe, is on Colorado State, actually, which is kind of funny. But Colorado State did win this one last time as a dog. It was kind of at a pick 'em last time, but they won by 3. They were at home. And so obviously now, other side of the angle here, we get 2 possessions. I mean, you know, I don't know, guys. Boise State at home, for one, has been a wagon. Like, that's not a secret either. I love them against the spread. They're 14-11 as a favorite. 11-5 at home overall, not like last 10 or anything like that. I'm just saying from a standpoint. But I mean, they've also like just straight up, they've won, I think 20 something out of like 25 games, I think, at home this year. Like they've been a wagon to back at home, no matter what the line has been. Obviously against the spread, unless you're talking about that point. But in terms of a money line standpoint, yeah, they've been really significantly well. And I know they always like my dogs here. But yeah, Boise State's offense at home specifically, they've been phenomenal. If we go to average points here, they've been racking it up. So 71 versus 66 or 60. I can't read that. Sorry. So yes, the 66 there versus last 10. We have 64 points per game, 65. So I mean, not incredibly crazy offenses, but I just like Boise State's offense better in this point. And like I said, some serious regression coming for Colorado State after winning, 7, 8 straight on 8 straight covers. No, I mean, everybody's going to be pressing that button because they're the hot team. It's every Twitter capper known to mankind. That's just how they go. So I'm going to back the opposite side, pretty much fade the public here, and take the team with a 20% bet split. But going back to Ohio, I forgot to mention one thing regarding what I've read. But Toledo, what I've caught on to at least, they have statistically the worst defense in their conference. And I would be searching all day here if I would have to look through here. But they do have the worst defense in their conference. and they're well above. Like if you remember from last week, they're well above that 110th defensive efficiency threshold. Like I was saying last week, and so I mean, on the contrary to that, in addition, Ohio and their third best defense in conference ranking, well below the 110th defensive threshold, will be one of the toughest defenses Toledo has faced by far. I forgot that I had that written down. So just wanted to go run that by. I just scrolled past that on my phone. I was like, well, crap, because I didn't even realize I didn't even give an efficient breakdown. But it's okay. I'm a little bit tired today. It's all good, though. I was tired last week. I was sick last week. And we, won, what? 800, 8 units, something like that, dude. It was crazy. Phenomenal day, though. But, yeah, we're running it back. So, next play, I have Portland. Pick 'em. Portland on a pick 'em, except now I think the line is -2. So let me go to that one. The line's been jumping up slightly, but doesn't mean can't have a play. So, simply put, Portland good, Pepperdine bad. That's Portland. I mean, there's a few reasons here. Shante, I forgot how you pronounce. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Legans. They've dominated both of these regular seasons meetings, and they've picked up basically an 84-64 win on the road, and then an 87-67 win at home. And obviously, they're not going to win every single game by exactly 20 points, But for this case, it definitely is relevant, because why in God's name is this a pick 'em, or why in the world is this line what it is? Considering those two games in the past, this is what I mean. You guys got to watch out for stuff like this, because there's some serious value hidden in these mid-major games that nobody knows about. And you know what I mean? It's sitting right there in front of you guys the entire time. But that's why I'm here. You know what I'm saying? But it's difficult to ignore how much better Portland's analytics have been towards the end of the season. They rank 157 spots higher on Bart Torvik since February the 1st. And obviously, they're not meaningless numbers. They picked up impressive wins over Oregon State. LMU, double digits, obviously blew up Pepperdine twice, like I was saying. And then they destroyed Pacific, who is probably the only team that is worse than Pepperdine. I don't know. They've lost to Santa Clara and St. Mary's, but you hear those names often. Santa Clara, one of the greatest offenses in college basketball this year, period. St. Mary's, always a tough team, no matter when or who you're playing. And then I think they lost to San Diego, but it's not, obviously, it's San Diego, but it's not that bad. But yeah, they're playing the best basketball of the year by far, and the perfect time. And obviously, now that they're at full strength, full health, there's no reason not to back Portland at this kind of line, given the history that they've pretty much been through since February. You know what I mean? It's always, you got to have your guys in March. Everybody knows that. For tourney, for conference play, they have the WCC Freshman of the Year in Austin Rapp, averages 13 a game, 6 rebounds a game. He's coming back-to-back double-doubles to end the regular season. And Pepperdine has just been untrustworthy, honestly. Away from home, especially. They're 282nd in the away from home metric. And that's 4-8 against the spread, I think. And then Portland, obviously, they haven't wavered on the road. They're 25th when they're away from home, and that's 8-4 against the spread. So Pilot's gotten the best of this matchup for a few years, in my opinion. Winning 6 of the last 8, I think is what it was. So I'm going to bet them tonight coming away and covering the short spread, definitely, because this line's funny. And this is a 2-unit, by the way. So keep that in the noggin. Other than that, though, that's pretty much it for tonight. Just kidding. Forgot the most important play, because you guys are going to kill me for not having a game in the headline. Yes, I do have a play in Illinois-Purdue. It is not Purdue. I hate backing Matt Painter in games like this, because he just, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. When I read it, honest to God, I text my boys, and I was just like, tell me it is not Purdue tonight. There's just no way. He was like, yeah, Illinois, blah, 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 blah. because I wanted to back Purdue initially because a 4.5 line, I'm like, dang, that's kind of crazy. And obviously they came off like 4 straight losses and then they bounced back incredibly. And they're coming off a 100-point game. Like, you know what I mean? Now all of a sudden they're just dogs by 2 possessions. It's just like, something's not making sense here. You could say the same thing for Illinois, though. They had one of the worst stretches of the season this second half, and now they're bouncing back with wins by 20 in both of these games. One of them as a dog outright completely. That was their last one against Michigan, which I had Michigan in that game too, and I was pissed. But yeah, like I said, I don't even know. And now I came back to it, and I was just like, you know what? No matter like how sharp or how square this bet is, like it's one of those things where you just have to take it because you can't just overthink it too hard. In this case, I wasn't trying to do that. So I found a -4 for -105 on Caesars. So I took that, and I do have that to win a unit. And so basically that concludes the Friday card. Illinois, I like it's from what I know, at least I'm 90% sure that they're out like full health. I like the size advantage that they have. The only thing that concerns me, obviously, is the perimeter scoring. Purdue's pretty much been lighting it up with Fletcher Lawyer. Braden Smith, obviously, they've been turning it up. So like, it does scare me a little bit, but you know what I mean? Champagne's going to be rocking. Illinois' got to get this win in order to get a better seed in the tournament and the conference tournament. So I'll take my chances here with a short 2-possession line, especially at home. And I believe it's also senior night. So another little angle for you. Moving on to Saturday. All right. I'm going to start with the model picks because this is what the model had. I think I tracked majority of these though. Yes. Okay. So starting out, I haven't decided if I'm betting these or not just yet. So keep an eye on my action for that. But first model pick that I had was SMU, Florida State under 158.5 here. And crap, I forgot I can't click it there. So let's. Obviously, if you've watched any ACC ball, this year, first of all, I'm terribly sorry for what you had to witness because this has been a god awful conference outside of Duke. But I mean, SMU is second. I think they're second in the ACC in terms of scoring, like offensively. But I mean, they've been one of the like hottest teams offensively that I can think of in a long time. Not a long time. I meant in terms of ACC outside of Duke. But it feels like they're like the only team that can like even keep up. But they always seem to have these games where they just kind of just flop and just die off. And now they're coming off they're kind of showing some significant regression. When they traveled to Stanford on the road, it's a long trip. They hosted Syracuse, who went under those lines there. And then on the contrary to that, we have Florida State, who's also coming off a cover, who couldn't even touch like 120. Like 117 is just bad. First of all, both those teams suck. Virginia sucks. The only reason they hit this Duke total is because they couldn't even defend Duke. I'm not even going to try to cap that one. Same thing with North Carolina. North Carolina, the last 2 months, I would say, has been a significantly better team. Same thing about Louisville. Louisville, one of the greatest offenses in the ACC as well. I think they're third, fourth, maybe. But, I mean, like I said, more regression coming for SMU as the season kind of goes on, especially on the road. They haven't been the most successful team to an over-under on the road. Obviously, they're still averaging 80 points a game. That's not on the road. Or at home specifically. That's just combined. Florida State, on the other hand, averaging 73, which is no bueno, especially with our total looking like this. So, and if we go to the last 10, obviously this number drops even more as we have 74 and 72. But like I said, some significant regression has been clearly showing, and that's what I'm backing here. On top of the model saying that with a 61% win probability. So high win probability like that, I do like my chances with it. Kansas State. I love this play. I'm probably going to end up adding this one. I don't know yet, but probably. Kansas State plus 8.5. Actually, you know what? Yeah, go ahead. I had this line at 8.5, and now it's dropping. like it's in my slip, but I'm just not tracking it yet. Man, I mean, I don't know if I'll track it or not. I probably will. So just keep an eye out on that. I don't know why this is on a leaned list when I literally have it. I think I changed my mind at the last second. But Rithmm has this one outright, which I honestly gotta say, I agree. So 32% win probability there, 32 there. However, on the spread, let's see what we got. We have a 58er. We have 58 on both, which project 4. Now, if you've watched basketball these last 2 months, like I was saying earlier, you would know BYU and Kansas State are probably the 2 hottest teams in the country right now, it seems like, that are unranked, I should say. Kansas State coming off of 3 straight wins, or 2 straight wins, sorry, or 3 straight covers, I should say. But there was a point in time where they were where they won like 4 or 5 straight, something like that. I don't know, man. But yeah, pretty much had Cincinnati on absolute clamps, and I loved it. It was amazing because I hate Cincinnati. Cincinnati's freaking, they're losers. They don't deserve to have a basketball team after all the hype that they've gotten the last 3 years. That's another rant for another day. It's all right. But I love their offense and what they've been doing these last couple of games, which Rithmm also likes the over here, which I got to agree, honestly, because Iowa State still has a good offense. I just think that Kansas State, with the spot that they're in and what's at stake in the tournament, I don't think that really Iowa State's playing for anything. I think it's kind of like a quote meaningless game. I don't want to say that exactly, but yeah, I mean, they have much more to prove than Iowa State does. We can put it that way. But I do kind of like the over there, I guess you could say. And it's funny that we have green stars on both models for this entire game across the board here, which is interesting to say the least. So yeah, with that being said, Kansas State plus 8.5, sprinkling them out right. And then yeah, I mean, guess lean the over there. I'm kind of we'll see about that. We'll see about the over. Next one on here is another dog, except this one is an interesting one. This is just model plays. This isn't really stuff that I necessarily have yet, except Kansas State. I do have that one. Alabama at Auburn this time, right? This line's been kind of ping-ponging. It's opened at 8.5, moved to even 8. Rithmm projects 6. This line is it's disgusting because they lost to Auburn at home. I think it was by 10, by 12. Ow, sorry. It's probably in here, honestly, in the last 10. Where are we at? Yeah. Oh, by 9. Sorry. Okay. But yeah, and now they catch them at home. I remember this game specifically because when it was at Bama, I projected it Auburn -1, I think is what it was. Projected Auburn -1. And I still backed Bama because they were the dog. Or they were favorites, sorry. I still backed Bama because I felt like it was a spot. Clearly, wrong side there. Actually, no. Wait. No, we had Auburn in that game. I don't know. I'm going to have to go back, and I do not have the time for that. So it's whatever. Anyways. Projected a pick pretty much -1 there. And now on this game, I'm looking at it, and I don't project. I mean, Auburn's projected on mine by, like I said, by 6. So I like the idea of Auburn being like a spot bet coming off of a loss, but the game's meaningless to them. They don't have anything else to do. Technically, the game's meaningless for both sides, honestly, for being real. I think both of them, I'm pretty sure, have locked up their top seeds in the conference tournament. Alabama, I don't think is a 1. Are they going to be? I think they should still be a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. They should be. That's my opinion, at least. I haven't really kept up with tournament seeding, even though I probably should have this time of the year, especially. But I've been out of a funk for a minute. I've just kind of been placing the bets that I look on and read what's projected and go from there. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't think that we can get by double digits here, personally. I think that Bama kind of shows some sort of revenge angle. At the end of the day, it's still a rivalry game. These guys hate each other. So I will gladly take the dog here. I love taking dogs in rivalry games, period. And yeah, 8 in my opinion is just way too much. So I do have an 8.5. Like I've always said, I preached on everybody's throat. I've always sprinkled the money line. Of course they got them out right here. I'll take my chances with it, but you know what I mean. We'll see what we can do. Next dog, because that's all we got. LSU hosting A&M, which A&M coming off of a win against Auburn. I had LSU plus 6.5. Sorry, plus 6.5 located in my slip as well. Like I said to my people that are like in my Discord and that follow me, I'm not really tracking anything. All plays are going to be pretty much posted in here, or not posted, but talked about in here. Which this is it. If you're wondering when that comes, this is it. But anyways, LSU plus 5.5. Me personally, I think 5.5 is too much still. I like LSU outright, which is why I have them at 6.5 as well as the money line in this case. Sorry, my phone's going crazy right now. I'm not sure what's going on. Fantasy. I forgot I have a fantasy draft after this. It's okay though. But yeah, I mean LSU obviously coming off of 2 blowouts where you could probably look into a team total over for LSU there. 64, 69, 59, 65 could be an angle in terms of A&M. A&M's obviously got with the best defense in the SEC. Why do I keep mixing that up? Sorry. But at this point, this game's also meaningless to them, which is pretty much why I'm sure majority of the public here is backing LSU as they are. But yeah, 6.5 for me there. Money line also for me there. And then another dog. This is insane how many dogs I have for tomorrow, but I love it though. Excuse me. Pre-game Cane smacked, by the way, if you're wondering. Ole Miss plus 11.5, which Rithmm also recommended here. 55% win probability. They project 9. Ole Miss's offense is one of the most slept-on offenses in the SEC, and they could pretty much just pop off at any time, any given moment. Florida, they're pretty much a given to pop off. Like if they don't, something's wrong. But going from my do spot angle that I always go by, pretty much right here, looking at it. 1-4 last 5, 0-2 on the road, 1-2 as a dog. And then, I mean, obviously they're coming off of an outright dog win, hosting Tennessee, which is a big, massive win that they needed very badly in terms of conference tournament seeding. But then I look at Florida, and then Florida obviously coming off of a dog win as well at Bama, which was also pretty much not a meaningless. I don't think it was a meaningless game for them, actually. Actually, no, that's a lie. Then Bama and Auburn has definitely got some incentives to it. And if they won that, I forgot about that. Sorry about that. But yeah, fading Florida's offense here is pretty much a must for me, given the spot that the Rebels are on. I don't think Ole Miss just walks into Gainesville and wins outright. But to say that they keep it closer than 11 is significant. And I like my chances to do that here. Rithmm likes it. They project less than 10, which is perfect. This is what I had in mind. And then, yeah, pretty much is that. Another model play that I had was North Carolina plus 11.5. For this one, I'm definitely sprinkling money line on because, dude, yeah, like it's the rivalry game of all rivalry games. And for some reason, College Game Day is going here tomorrow when it has zero implication whatsoever. It's like North Carolina sucks. Like I don't understand why we're picking games like that. Still blows my mind. Anyways, North Carolina plus 11.5. I had 10 there, but I went ahead and tracked it on Rithmm just because, just so we have it there. North Carolina. I mean, there's not really much to say. Like I was pretty much saying, I love backing dogs in rivalry games here. Initially, I did kind of like Duke, but now the line's at was at 8.5 or 9.5, something like that. Rithmm has them by 8 with a 60% win probability. And both these teams have been red hot. I mean, let's be real. The last few, I should say. 1 second. There we go. So obviously you have pretty much just two complete different sides in the last like 2 months from North Carolina and towards like the beginning or mid February to right now where we're at in March. Completely different team. They've won, what is that, 7 straight, 8 straight now, I think. And then losing to Clemson. But yeah, they've also covered in every single game in the last 5. So by a significant margin too. I mean, 91, 92, 96, 81, 97. I mean, as of right now, North Carolina might be the only team that can kind of keep up with Duke. I'm hoping for an exciting game tomorrow, or else I'm going to have some problems. But yeah, like I said, going back to what I was saying before, I love backing, especially a big dog like this. I don't think you can make this line what it is when you have the given history of what's been happening in Chapel Hill and what they know is at stake for them. And then you have these disgusting blue people walking in. Yeah, by the way, I hate Duke. Not biased, by the way, but I'm not a Carolina fan either, so don't say that. But yeah, Carolina plus 11.5. Sprinkled money line as always. And last lean or whatever, last model play. Sorry, not lean. Model play that I have is Cuse over Virginia. This one's still recommended, which is awesome. Now, I've been saying this also, backing Rithmm short favorites, especially at home, have been working out very well for me. No matter how bad we get by here, both of these teams are bad. We know that. I mean, at least I do. Virginia, terrible. I hate backing Virginia. Syracuse, on the other hand, coming off back-to-back losses, both one is a significantly large dog that they kept insanely close at SMU. And then on the road at VT, where they let up 101. My God, if you let up 101, it's insane. But yeah, I mean, I like Cuse's offense still. I like them better than Virginia's at that point. Under 37.5. That's weird. I don't know. I guess so. Virginia's offense isn't necessarily the most, you know what I mean? As it pretty much says right there. So you got 77 average versus 71 average in the last 5. Moving the last 10, we have 77 still, 72. About the same. But I mean, they've both been hitting overs significantly, mainly because Virginia's defense is god awful, like terrible. And obviously, with a bad defense, better offense, going back to that 110th threshold that I was telling you guys about last week, this does fall under that category to back Syracuse. So that's what I'm doing here. And basically, that's basically the formula that I've been using for the last 4 weeks, is that 110 threshold that I've been telling you guys about. Now on to my picks that aren't necessarily related to Rithmm, but I also checked them out on Rithmm. Because one of them, most of these were recommended, and now they're not. I am backing Missouri tomorrow, minus 5.5 or 4.5, 3.5. Sorry, 3. I got the opener there. But yeah, 3.5 here. Let me go. Kentucky, obviously coming off of massive win versus LSU, got smoked by Auburn, barely squeezed by Oklahoma, got smoked by Bama, and then you go on Missouri's end. Back-to-back losses, both as favorites. That's all you need. End of breakdown. Mizzou, one of the greatest most fun teams to watch this year. Like this school, this like city in general, has been on the come up in the athletics department for like the last year and a half, I would say. Like it's been insane in football and basketball. I'm pretty sure they're running the table in some women's sports at this point. I don't know. But Columbia, dude, has been buzzing almost every game day. And now they're pissed off that they didn't get College Game Day. In my opinion, this should have been College Game Day because Columbia is just the spot tomorrow. 3.5 line. I'm really happy about this opener. 2.5 or 2 unit play for me as well. But man, I'm telling you right now, first half team total, full game team total for Mizzou my God, that might be one of the greatest bets you can ever make, depending on the number that you get. Just be on the lookout, because I will definitely be. And very well could be ended up 3 units. So we'll see. Another play that I have in SEC play, where I'm backing an old-fashioned trend that I had with home unranked favorites versus road. Whoa. Hold on now. Sorry. Versus ranked underdogs. And that falls under Arkansas, which I have at a pick'em for -1 at -110. At Caesars, I believe. Sorry, DraftKings. But yes, Arkansas, desperate as all get out. They cannot lose this game, especially like they did the one the week before that at South Carolina. They had a great bounce back against Vanderbilt. Offense was pretty much back to full form at that point, which is good to see, because Vanderbilt to be at home is hard, rough. They've been very good at home, so it's a very impressive win. Mississippi State, on the other hand, coming off of a loss at Texas as a big favorite. I like backing the team with more potential, I would say. And this is kind of controversial, but Arkansas's offense shouldn't be able to be contained by Mississippi State's defense, in my opinion, at least. The only thing that concerns me is, can Arkansas hit their perimeter shots? Can they defend? Guys like Josh Hubbard obviously can pretty much change the game at the snap of a finger. I'm expecting Bud Walton to be on fire tomorrow night. But yeah, like I said, going back to that trend, unranked favorites versus a ranked dog, significantly profitable. And I've gone over that at least once every episode. And we're almost finished up here, but I have a couple of more. Marquette, I had a disgusting open line. -1.5. Also on DraftKings, -110. Is this still -1.5? Are people actually betting on St. John's tomorrow? Oh my God. Wow. It's going up slowly. But yeah, Marquette -1.5. St. John's has quite literally nothing to play for. There's 0 point in them even showing up this game. Quite frankly, I'm kind of surprised that Marquette isn't like -3.5 or something like that, because they need this game a lot more than St. John's does. And with them coming off of a loss on the road just recently, coming back home for senior night, I love the spot and the line for this. So this is also 2 units, by the way. But yeah, I mean, it's like St. John's has been hot. They've been insanely fun to watch in the Big East, but they are the better team. I know that at least. But there's no point in them pretty much playing this game. They're pretty much conserving their energy. They're going to play. Pitino's going to play the smart guys that he doesn't want to get hurt too much. RJ Lewis, stuff like that, or guys like that. Sorry. On the contrary to that, Marquette needs a better conference seed. They need a better tournament seed, and they can do that voting in a crazy big resume win with this one. And like I said, the line screams Marquette, and it's going to go up. So I would go ahead and grab that one now. I think I have another short favorite line. Was it Indiana? No. Whoops. It was. Okay. This one I'm still debating on. But I did initially lean Indiana here. Didn't really have much on it, honestly, but I did like the idea of backing Indiana on senior night, especially in Assembly Hall. They've been pretty well profitable history-wise. Buckeyes coming off of a squeeze by 2-point win in double overtime. And Indiana coming off of a big loss on the road. They couldn't really afford to drop. So now this time, obviously coming back home, desperate for a win, need the tournament game. Pretty much should be all it. Indiana has 54% win probability. They recommend 1.5 on the dot. To me, this is full go. Both teams haven't really been great against the spread recently, but I do like the spot of Indiana a lot better, in my opinion, here. And then that's the last game of the day I have is Baylor, which Baylor is an insane game because, for one, this line's already moved down 3 points, I think. Yeah. So I have them at 7.5 for -110 on DraftKings. Locked this in about a few hours ago. Pretty sure it was like lunchtime-ish, give or take, and now at 4.5 already, and it is 6:45 p.m. Eastern time. So, and Rithmm projects them still by 3, in which I have them outright here in this game. Similar line to St. John's and Marquette. Houston doesn't have anything to play for. Baylor, on the other hand, does. Conference tournament seeding, NCAA tournament seeding, done deal. They're at home, senior night. Give me it all day. Done. Other wins that I have for Saturday, though, that's pretty much it that I have for Saturday. But other than I'm looking at, I have Georgia -3.5. I think I have DePaul -1.5. UC Cincinnati team total over, potentially, just because of how bad they've been slacking, coming off of a 49-point performance, which is it's disgusting. And then that's pretty much it, though. Everything else I've either added into the model plays or added into the card. But yeah, nothing going on action. So hopefully if you listen to this, you guys got what you got out of it. And other than that, if you have any questions, like I said, I'm open 24/7, except for when I'm asleep, in my DMs on Discord, on Twitter, Instagram, anything like that. CAD, CAD _locks, LOXX. Other than that, though, that's all I've got. I did want to go over one quick thing before we headed out, and that is Rithmm's March Madness bracket generator that we've been pretty much just pounding because last year was a fun year. Let me see here. So you can basically access fully generated, obviously data-backed March Madness brackets, all powered by AI. And I mean, from speaking from last year, let me go to last year's real fast. More than 1 in 3 Rithmm brackets requested from Rithmm correctly picked the winning team. And with UConn winning, the percentage of the winners was 39% higher than ESPN brackets as a whole. So Rithmm had 34% of brackets, ESPN had 24%. Rithmm predicted Duquesne, NC State, Oakland, all to win last year in their round 1, which they did. And after first and second rounds, 93% of Rithmm brackets have predicted their national champion to still be in the tournament. So 45% of Rithmm brackets had NC State reaching the Sweet 16, which is insane. So you gotta jump in on that, and we will see you guys in March, or see you guys in March Madness for that one, because this is going to be a fun tournament. We did have one question. EMU plus 11.5. Let me have a look. Didn't dive into Max too much tonight, to be honest with you. Oh boy, Kent. Let's see. Yeah, I win the other way. Kent for -111 or -11 for even money is a good price too. Wow. Yeah, I win the other way for that one on Kent. Majority of the money's on EMU though, but Kent obviously haven't covered in 2 straight games. They just squeezed by Western Michigan last week. Eastern Michigan's also coming off of 2 dog outright wins though, and now all of a sudden they're a double-digit dog. And the last game, Kent State absolutely wiped the floor by 21 when they were on the road, and now obviously find themselves in Kent or at Kent. So yeah, do lean the other way for Kent -1, -11, especially on senior night like that. So yeah, if that answers your question, that would be a no from me personally. But feel free. But we can check into Rithmm real fast and see what they've got. If I had to guess, probably going to be on EMU just because my models absolutely love dogs. Naturally. Projects 8. Let me see. And yeah, projects money line too. Yeah, I don't like the idea of it, to be honest with you. Do spot on this on Kent's side for sure. And yeah, going back to what I said, 2 losses back to back there, and then 2 losses back to back here, or 2 wins back to back here as a dog. Just don't like the chances for a double digit line like that, given the last couple of games there. So hopefully that answers your question. If anybody else has any questions, feel free to unload now or forever hold your peace. But that is all that I have for today and tomorrow. Anything that is not mentioned in the show today will be posted to my Action Network. So if you do follow me there, be sure to do that. Or keep an eye out there, which is also cat_locks. But yeah, I mean, man, we're up nearly 17 units on this show. I'm expecting some regression, so don't go crazy if we have a losing day, but we're going to keep doing what we're doing. We're 51 and 33, so let's pray for a big day today tomorrow. We got games starting in about 10 minutes for us tonight after these women's conference tourney games wrap up. So other than that, you guys, I think that is going to do it. If nobody has any questions before I head out. And yeah, that'll be it. So I'll see you guys probably next week. And we'll probably get started on some conference tournament games and power conferences. So that'll be a good one. That'll be a fun one. So yeah. Peace. We'll see you guys next week. I appreciate you all for staying and tuning in. See ya.
guy. He also